And welcome back to Let's Play Terrafirmacraft season. Is this season 2? Sorry, my cat's distracting me here. So on today's exciting episode, we're going to follow up what we were doing last time, which, as you recall, we went on a journey and then we started making our first metal tools and we started to work on our cellar. The cellar is going to be the priority for today's episode. And in order to create a cellar, we don't just need cellar blocks like I showed you how to make last time with the 4 pieces of lumber in the corners, 2 clay on the upper and bottom middle, and 2 straw on the outside left and right. I went ahead and made a bunch of those, but we're going to need more than just that. I'm constantly finding myself managing my inventory at this point in the game because it's because I'm carrying all this food, I think, honestly. But as you can see there, I made several stacks of these cellar wall blocks. I probably actually need more than this, but it's a good start. And I'd recommend, if you're playing along at home, that you go ahead and make several as well. Several stacks as well. But now we're going to go ahead and make an ice bunker. An ice bunker is the controlling block of this multi-block structure. It's made with 2 planks and 4 pieces of lumber. So we'll need at least 2 logs worth. Each log, of course, turns into 8 lumber. The first 8 lumber can go into the planks, and then the rest of the lumber can be used to surround it like this and like that. Okay, and then we'll make that ice bunker. Okay, and we'll need to put that in the cellar, and I'll show you that in just a little bit here, but we'll put it in our storage for now. And as you can see, I've skipped ahead a little there, but I wanted to make sure that we weren't getting bogged down with inventory management. Okay, so let's just finish up making a couple other things that we're going to need. But first of all, let me show you what I was doing here with this bridge. So this is a bridge I started, and basically I'm just using Douglas fir, using logs for the frame, and then planks, obviously, for the body of the bridge there. And I've just been working on this little by little. I've actually completed a whole nother bridge right up here, and it lines up with the other one, directly. But I think what I'd like to do is put the cellar down here. This is a good place for it. It's a little ways away. It's by the castle. I skipped out cutting down. I just dug. Or did I? I don't even know. But anyway, I just here's where I'm gonna dig, and then we're gonna put ladders. We're gonna go straight down. You're gonna go down about 25 blocks or so. But if you're playing along at home, you feel free to go down as far as you'd like. You can go much deeper than 25. In fact, it has some advantages to go deeper than 25. Notably, you would get more cold. It would be a colder storage. A lot of people put cellars way up in the air too. I've seen that. And that can be helpful because it is also very cold up there. Okay, so I'm making a sign just to label this chest that I made. It's going to be my rocks and dirt and so forth chest. And then, I don't know, there'll probably be a miscellaneous chest. I think I might actually make this my miscellaneous chest. And I'm just going to make, I think I'm going to make another barrel real quick because I'd like to have an extra barrel at some point. Well, I'll come back for that. Here I have my coconut sapling that I found while I was up north. This is weird and unrealistic, but I'm going to plant it. It shouldn't grow this far north, but, why not take advantage of it? Okay, so I've got the planks here. I'm just going to quickly make a barrel, and I'm going to use that as a backpack, I think, because you can put a barrel on your back and carry 12 items in your barrel, so that's what I'm going to do there. And then I'm going to show you how to make this door here. Now, this is the cellar door we're going to make. Cellar door is, you need 2 of them to make a cellar, a functional multi-block cellar. So what you'll do is you'll take your lumber, and this you'll need, you can look it up, but it's going to be 6 lumber on each side of each door. So it's really like a normal door, except for in between the 2 lines of lumber, you will get this clay straw thing. So we're going to put that in the crafting grid with our saw to make lumber. And then we'll go ahead and line the, and we'll take the rest of those. We'll line the wall with our lumber. And that would be enough for 2 normal doors. And then we'll add 2 clay on the top and bottom and 2 straw in the middle for insulation. And bada bing, bada boom. Now I'm going to try to save some room in my inventory so that we can store all of this and bring it down to where we're building our cellar. But let me just show you how to make these cellar shelves. It's just a ladder but with lumber instead of sticks. And we'll need those to store the actual food in the cellar. So I'm going to set these doors down real quick. You can't store them in a chest for some reason. But we'll come back and get those later. For now, I'm going to grab up all these cellar wall blocks and we're going to go ahead and start the cellar back where we were digging down. And the sooner the better, because I've got so much food in my inventory that I really want to store it. And then we can do a harvest. Okay, we're back down at the bottom here. I'm going to put this barrel down here. The reason being is I like to put barrels at the bottom of my ladders to store water. So that's what that's going to do. So to make a cellar, what you want to do is you want to start out by putting in the ceiling, because otherwise you'll run in a risk of collapse. But the ceiling is going to be the 3rd block above you, typically. The 3rd block above where the floor of the cellar is going to be. And then we're going to line a 3x3 area with these cellar blocks, but we're just going to do the ceiling height first. Again, for the purpose of preventing cave-ins. And actually it looks like I'm doing 3x2, which is fine. Because that's actually the protrusion that the door would leave. So that's 3x2 there. And then what we'll want to do is go 3 in from the edge of that, putting these blocks on the ceiling as we go to prevent cave-ins. And so the 3x2 is where the door is, and then 3 in is the first half leading up to the middle of the cellar. So that's 3, and then this 4th one here that we're doing, this is going to be the midpoint of the cellar. It's getting dark, but I'll put a torch down so you can see it. We're getting granite rock too, which is weird, because I thought this was a marble biome, but maybe I'm running into some gravel or something. Or granite, rather. And then we're going to go 3 farther. And that is going to be the edge of the interior of the cellar. So we've got a 7x7 shape taking root. Now I think a cellar can be as small as maybe 3x3 or 4x4, but I never make them that small. I also think they can be rectangular. You could have 7x5. But I'm just doing a quick plus sign here to get the edges down. And this is my 3rd block there. We'll do 3 in this direction as well. And this will give me a bearing on where I do the rest of the square of the cellar. Now, this is the interior of the cellar, 7x7. But we actually need to go 1 out beyond this to get the walls of the outer wall of the cellar if we don't want to interfere with the interior space. So we're going to go 1 farther in each direction now, except for the direction we came from. And then we go 1, 2, 3. I'm being a little bit dangerous by doing multiple ceiling blocks at a time. But that's 3. And then this is 4 here. This is the absolute corner of the outer wall of the cellar. And then we'll take a left turn here. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3. And then that next one is the middle point. 2, and 3. Normally I don't show this much grindy kind of stuff here. This is the midpoint. This is the middle of the outer wall. But the cellars are a little tricky, and I think that this is sort of, in addition to being part of the Let's Play, it's sort of a tutorial on this add-on that there's not a lot of content out there. Anyway, I finished digging the rest of that out, dug out the outer wall. So really what I have here is a 9x9 by 3 space with the top layer completely filled in with those cellar wall blocks. Now what you want to do is you want to start thinking about this outer wall. And it's this line here that I'm digging. This is the outer wall. This is part of the 9 by 9 rather than the 7 by 7. And we're just going to fill that in with cellar blocks. I do need to have a quick bite to eat. Digging is hard work, of course. Having some peanuts, which is a new food item added by Cooking with TFC. Make sure when you do the walls, you want to make sure you get the bottom first. I don't know for sure if this is required. If you can just do the ones that appear to be adjacent from the inside. I always do the entire outside, including the top and the bottom layer. So I'm just doing the outer wall, and then what's left with the... Oh, I see why I'm getting granite. There's some granite rock mixed in with the marble. It just looks very similar. That was unexpected. Okay. Well, I'm just doing this outer layer, and then the marble that's going to be in the middle there, that's going to be the interior of the cellar. The part that I'm doing now is just the exterior wall. But once you dig it out, you can go ahead and place these blocks in here like this. You can fill in the door area too. And by the way, since I added that outside layer to the 7 by 7, my 2 by 3 that I started with was eaten up slightly. So now I only have a 3 by 1 protruding outside because the other half of that is part of the outer wall now. So you have 9 by 9 plus a 3 by 1 in the middle of one side for the door. Okay, so that's the bottom layer, and I just like doing these corners. They look kind of cool when you do them like this. But you're going to have to do the entire wall. Good thing we have a lot of cellar wall blocks. In order to do a full 9 by 9 or 7 by 7 cellar, you need 9 by... well, I'm just trying to do some quick math here, but it's 4 times 9 is 36, plus 36, plus 4 times 7 is 28, plus 4 times 7 minus 2 is 26. So 30, yeah, that's a lot. That's, I'm having trouble calculating that. I guess what I could do is I could calculate the cube and then remove. Okay, I'm just doing this in my head, but you'll need 9 by 9 times 4 minus 7 by 7 times 2. Okay, so 9 by 9 times 4. There's the granite, by the way. 81 times 4 is 324. Minus 7 by 7 times 2. That's 49 times 2 is 98. So 324 minus 70. What did I say? Yes, 98. So 324 minus 98 is 226. So I think you'll need 226 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think you need 236 cellar blocks total. And that takes a while to build. So I'm sorry for doing the math in my head while I'm building this, but I'm just kind of thinking of something to say. So 236, I think, was the number. Actually, and then minus 1 for the ice bunker. So that ends up being 235. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty accurate. I use that gem, by the way. You get gems when you mine rocks, and I just use that gem to... It's a permanent light source, and I use it to light the area near my ladder there, so I can always see. One thing with cellars is that they only allow certain blocks in them to function. You can use storage shelves, food storage shelves, and barrels. And then you can have the ice bunker, obviously the cellar doors, and the cellar blocks. And that's it. You cannot use a torch in a cellar. It will destroy the multi-block. So what you want to do is you want to have a permanent light source very near the door that'll bleed into the cellar a little bit. But keep in mind that your cellar is kind of designed to be dark, and you're not really, unless you have the Dynamics Lights mod and you carry a torch with you, it's hard to see. Just filling in the rest of these cellar blocks. I calculated exactly how many I would need, and got, I made the rest of those back home, off camera. And I'm just filling them in, and that's all I've got. But I think I put a few more over in this chest. Yes, I did. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that does it for the cellar wall portion. Now we just need to put the doors on. One there, and then one block away there. That's the cellar. So again, it's just the 3x3x1 protruding out from a 9x9 that's hollow on the inner two blocks. And that is your cellar, with an ice bunker in the middle, which is the control block. Now we have to get rid of that torch for this to work. And so it's going to get dark. We can also, I can demonstrate how to do a shelf by making another one here with our one log that we had. But we'll just be putting these along the side to store food in. And it's not recognizing the multi-block again because of the torch. So what we'll want to do is, I do need to grab those other shelves, I think. And I'm just going to put this barrel down one because it's in the way. But I would like to grab the other cellar shelves. And come back and put those in as well. So I cut that, actually, I think. And I gotta get rid of this torch to make this function, so there we go. Actually, I did not cut that. But I think I will cut that and go grab those. Yeah, I put that gemstone right next to the door to allow as much light as possible to seep in without affecting the multi-block. And it says it's not complete yet, but I know that it is. It just takes a minute to chill down. And when you come in, you want to open one door at a time, close the other door, and then open the next door. That process prevents the hot air from getting into the cellar. So I'm just storing a few of my items that I know that I need to store. I've got a pretty decent amount of food, but you definitely always want plenty of food. At some point in the very near future, oh, there we go, it's freezing now. That means the multi-block is working. And if I put this torch back, it'll not say that anymore. Well, it will eventually ruin the temperature in the cellar. So, but I was going to say, eventually we'll be so productive with our agriculture that we won't even need to harvest a full harvest every year. Like, we might only harvest certain crops, like jute, or we might not even harvest anything. We might just keep things planted and not harvest them if we get so much food that we're overwhelmed. But I think eventually I'd like to create a system where I can spend food to buy things, like fast traveling, or maybe something like citizens in my town, something like that. So I'll have to think about how to do that. But in the meantime, I came back to my house. I definitely want to grab these food shelves, which I don't know where I put them. I'm also going to grab this extra barrel and use it as a backpack. And we're going to do just a little bit of harvesting too before I grab those shelves. Also, I'm quickly going to make, I think I'm going to just make a few. Oh, I know what I'm going to make. Let's make some chests here for our seed storage as we harvest our food. So I'm just going to put 2 chests down for now, but I'll probably need a 3rd chest as well. That way it'll be nutrient A and nutrient B seeds. Okay, so harvesting is very simple. You just punch it, And typically you'll get one seed for each block you harvest. And depending on your agriculture skill, there is a chance, I think it's probably about, I don't know, it's probably something like 5% at this point with my low skill level. But as you get more skilled, it goes up to get an extra seed. So I did get an extra seed on that maize. So I have 5 seeds from 4 blocks. And that's how you get more seeds. Which is why if you only have like 1 seed of something, you want to harvest it as many times as possible in a season to expand your seed count. The other way, of course, is to go explore. And while you're exploring, if you find more seeds, that's great too. But if you have seeds at all, and I cut ahead there, if you have any seeds at all of one type, you can theoretically multiply them just by planting them and harvesting them. I'm using the barrel to put my food in, and then I'm using these to put the seeds in. I'm just doing it kind of willy-nilly right now. But there's a lot of crops here, and some of them aren't ripe yet. And I am going to replant some of my seeds that I don't have a lot of, like those potatoes. But it looks like not a whole lot of those are ready yet. So let's, maybe these tomatoes, and is the garlic not quite ready? Okay. All that cabbage. This macadamia nut tree is going to interfere with my growing, I'm afraid. And these are the cooking with TFC pumpkins. These are the TerraFirmaPumpkins. Yeah, so that's probably pretty good for now. I've got some industrial hemp there. So I'm going to go ahead and I should take what I have and go store it. I could sort these seeds too. I really need to sort them by nutrient type, but because I only have a stone hoe and not a metal hoe, I apparently am not able to see what nutrient type those seeds are. But I am grabbing a few more to replant here, I think. Just because I want to multiply the seeds, not because I want the crops necessarily. And as you can see, because I don't have a system yet of where different crops are being planted, I'm just kind of winging it. It may or may not work. Okay, we'll grab those cellar shelves. And then we'll make an extra one there, and I'll put the rest of my lumber away. And then let's go put these away in our cellar. Let's go use our cellar. These bridges are pretty handy. I did finish this bridge up off camera, by the way. I may, at some point, put handles, railings along the side of the bridge. But for now, I'm just going to leave it these simple, clean-looking bridges, and we'll go from there. Okay, back down to the cellar. Yeah, I must have, hit literally right where the marble granite layer meets up. Yeah, so that torch definitely killed my cellar, as you can see there. But let's put these shelves down. I'm going to save the corner for a barrel. And I realize you may not be able to see it very well. But basically what I'm doing is I'm just putting in all of my food. And at some point I'll organize it better. Like each shelf will literally be a different food type. But for now I'm going to kind of double up. So maybe put my grains on one. Maybe put my veggies on one, Put my fruits on another. That kind of thing. Right now I've mostly got grains and veggies. A lot of onion. Probably won't run out of onion anytime soon. But this is a good opportunity. This is a master food storage place, so you can, stack your foods and you can clean it up and cut the decay out. You always want to be mindful of the decay as well. We've been mindful so far. But even down here in storage, you're going to have to come down and cut it out from time to time. And during the winter, not so much. But during the summer, you'll probably have to be down here once every week or so, cutting the decay out of food. I'm contemplating whether I want to modify the length of time passage, because I feel like it's going pretty quickly right now. And I might want to slow time down just a little bit to give myself more time in the winter and the summer to enjoy it, to take advantage of the seasonal things without feeling like we're scrambling to prepare for the next season. So I'm contemplating that right now. Let's put the grain in its own barrel here, or its own shelf. Okay. So there's the grain, and I think I'm going to keep everything else here. So I'll take my barrel back. I know you can't really see that. And then we'll put it in the corner. And then we'll, let's get out of here. We can store food in the barrel, just like a chest, but really what it's good for is storing, I think, vinegar or salt brine or whatever. There's a process where you pickle food for better preservation. And those liquids where we pickle them and you store them right in that liquid, those can be kept in the cellar as well, if you have room. If you don't have room, I'd recommend keeping it outside the cellar. So just a quick spot check of my crops here before we end the episode. Some of them are getting close, but you know, probably by tomorrow some of these will be ready. And we're just going to keep harvesting them, probably largely off camera. And then we're going to put them downstairs in the cellar. Okay. Well, I feel very good about that. I feel good that we have a cellar up and running now before winter. But if you've been watching, thank you very much. And we'll see you next time on TerraFirmacraft.